The Browns have started day 3 of the 2022 NFL Draft off with a bang, going Perrion Winfrey. And then, what about a kicker? How about Cade York out of LSU? We're going to break both of these picks down, what this means for the Browns, and I'm excited because I wasn't upset after day 2. I think I was just wanting more. And I didn't get that more, but I love Winfrey in round 4, and I love getting a kicker. I'm all for special teams. Some people say their lives aren't real. Some people say kickers aren't real. No, I'm all for kickers. I wanted a punter, but we can get Matt Orizia later. So grade the picks for me. Winfrey and Cade York. We'll show you a trade in just a moment because the Browns were supposed to have kind of 3 picks from 108 to 124, and had one sandwich in the middle, but ultimately they make this trade with the Minnesota Vikings. Get your votes in down below. But Cleveland moved out of that 118 position with the Vikings, picked up a future 4th and a 5th round pick for this year's draft. So, you know what? I'm all for day 3 trades because it's kind of exciting and fun, unless there's like a star guy out there that's somehow fallen this far. But the Browns will probably I don't know if Andrew Berry slept last night knowing Perrion Winfrey could be got at 108. So let's start the video off by really looking at Perrion Winfrey. Who remembers doing mock drafts and taking Winfrey at 44? Hand up. I mean, you can't see me right now, but I do. 5.5 sacks last year. Here's what I like about Winfrey. Big 12 defenses always suck. But this year, or this past season, we were told, guys, Oklahoma's defense may be better than their offense. One of the big reasons why, this dude, Perrion Winfrey. Scouting report on him. He was coming off a breakout season, was very good in the Senior Bowl. He was one of the Boye Mafe was the Senior Bowl MVP, but he was like the runner-up. People were just changing their pants over this guy in Mobile. They loved him that much. Great explosion, awesome athleticism, a little undersized for a defensive tackle, under 300 pounds, 6'3", so he's not going to be your Vita Vea, true one technique that's 350 pounds and a boulder of a human being, but he's got a little bit more. Tom Downey, our NFL draft expert, believes he needs to provide more consistent impact and not, 2 out of 3 plays making a big impact. We check out what NFL.com's Lance Zierlein wrote about Winfrey, saying, Winfrey looks the part and will impress with his body type at the NFL scouting combine. However, he's frequently late off the ball. A tight lower half and disappointing lateral agility make him a liability against move blocking schemes. All right, that's a bunch of nerdy football stuff right there at the end. I love this Winfrey pick. I am all for adding some depth to that defensive line. We know that Andrew Berry in our short kind of, I guess we'll go sample size to read what he likes and what he values, doesn't look at the defensive tackle spot as one of the biggest needs a football team can have. Kind of skimped on it last year, Malik Dowell and Jackson, and going Togiai in the 4th round, and all right, we'll just kind of duct tape it and figure it out as the season goes along. And honestly, it worked. It wasn't a great run defense, but it wasn't the worst run defense out there. Winfrey, though, is going to help a ton. Before we check out Cade York, I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, because we are less than 150 subs away from reaching 8,000 subscribers. So, wow. We started this channel not long ago. We were at Big Fat Donut, and appreciate all of you guys that have helped us march our way nearly to the 8,000 milestone. Subscribe, hit that big red button, and join the channel. On to Cade York. Here we go. We go kicker. Sorry, Chase McLaughlin. I hope you're not watching, because this guy may take your job. He was perfect on extra points last year. All right, good. You should be. But 15 for 18, longtime kicker in the SEC. He's not a one-year guy who had a breakout season, 15 for 18 last year. But LSU's offense sucked last season, so he never got that many great opportunities. But I've watched him play. I went to Tennessee. I watched him bang some kicks through the uprights and was like, all right, this guy's a douche. I don't like him. But now that he's on the Browns, yeah, I do like him. So I'm very happy with the Cade York pick. It would have been fun to maybe go with Matt Orizia, the punter from San Diego State. It still can happen. I don't think it's been picked yet. I'm looking at Twitter. No, I don't see it yet. But that would be a pretty fun pick. You got to admit, if we go kicker and punter, get the best kicker and the best punter in the AFC. Well, except for Justin Tucker, in the AFC North. So how are you feeling about the draft so far? we'll revisit the first couple of picks to refresh everyone's memories about what Barry did in day 2, but scale it for me 1 to 10 about how you are feeling about the draft so far. 1 being you're, hating the draft, you think Barry's doing an awful job. 10 being you've got full, Barry is your leader, right? He is your Kim Jong-un. You bow down. You've got a picture of him on your wall. How you feel about the draft, let me know in the comment section. The Browns selections. Let's revisit what they did. First off, they traded out of round 2. Got Martin Emerson, who I won't spend too much time talking about. I think he could be a very good football player. I just worry about drafting someone who's got a ceiling of CB3 with your first draft selection. But anywho, Alex Wright, edge rusher from UAB, more of a developmental pick. Don't expect much of an impact this year, but he could blossom into a beautiful partner for Myles Garrett. Love the David Bell pick. Everyone's like, oh, he's just a little slow, didn't test well at the combine. Who gives a shit? He was awesome at Purdue the last couple of seasons. To find him at 99, sign me up. And then Perrion Winfrey to start day 3 off. And now we have Cade York, the kicker from LSU. The kicker position is always an enigma. You need to have a good kicker. And we saw, for example, remember the Bengals last year drafted Evan McPherson. Sometimes drafting kickers doesn't work out. Who remembers when the Bucks drafted Roberto Aguayo in the 2nd round? Never forget when the Raiders went Janikowski in round 1. Rest in peace, Al Davis. That was the funniest thing that's ever happened. But Cade York in round 4, I get it. Maybe you're like, what are we doing? Why don't you just sign a kicker? Kickers suck anyway. You know what? Kickers are pretty damn important. I remember when Justin Tucker saved the Ravens how many times? Knocked in a 66-yarder in Detroit. So can we get our own Justin Tucker? I wouldn't mind Dicker the kicker. Producer Jeff, no, he's even wearing his Longhorns long sleeve right now. He's like, no, screw that guy. Cool name, not a good kicker. We've got more draft coverage coming up, but who do you want the Browns to draft next? Who is still out there that you'd like to see Andrew Barry go up and just draft? For me, I'll go with Romeo Doubs, the wide receiver out of Nevada, because you can't have too many wide receivers in the NFL. It's just always fun to have extra gadget and extra weapons to add to your arsenal. One more time, make sure you subscribe here to the Browns Report on YouTube. We're going to be breaking down every single Browns draft pick. We'll also be giving out draft grades at the end of the day, so stay tuned for that later on. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of day 3. I'll see you later here on the Cleveland Browns Report.